Hello everyone and welcome to our video series on Learn German Grammar. In today's lesson, we'll be learning a few tips on how to recognize the article of a noun. So we'll be learning a few rules for the same. Regeln für Artikel. Der Artikel, die Artikel. Das Genus. As you might already know, there are three articles in German. Der for masculine, die for feminine, and das for neutral. Few other things you should remember are the articles der, die, and das reveal the gender of a noun. That is, from the article you know whether the noun is masculine, feminine, or neutral. In most cases, you can't identify the gender of a noun till you know its article. Exceptions are persons, as the natural gender is the same as the grammatical gender. Whereas, in the case of things, we don't know what's their article. For example, der Löffel, die Gabel, das Messer. Why do these objects have these articles? There is no reason behind it. You're just supposed to learn them. But there are a few rules which can help you in identifying the article of a noun. Let's go through them. So we begin with the article der. The article der is used for masculine persons, for example, der Vater or der Mann, and for masculine professions, for example, der Arzt. Another easy rule to remember is the names of all weekdays, for example, der Montag, der Dienstag, or the names of months, der Januar, der Februar, or even seasons, der Sommer, der Winter. All of them are masculine and hence take the article der. Let's come to the next rule. Himmelsrichtungen. Der Norden, der Osten, der Süden, der Westen. All of them are also masculine and hence the article der. And most of the words related to weather are also masculine. For example, der Regen, der Schnee, der Blitz. Automarken. The name of car companies are also masculine. Der BMW, der Skoda, der Honda, etc. Alcohol. The names in German are also masculine. Der Wein, der Sekt, but an exception is das Bier. Endungen für maskulin. There are some words with some specific endings that can also help you in recognizing the article of the word. Let's go through these endings for masculine. Nouns with the endung er. For example, der Koffer, der Spieler. Nouns with the ending en are also masculine. For example, der Rasen or der Ofen. Nouns ending in ig. For example, der Essig, der Honig, and so on. Another ending is ling, L-I-N-G. Der Zwilling, der Frühling. Other endings for masculine are OR, for example, der Organisator, ist, for example, der Tourist, and Ismus, for example, der Tourismus. Now let's move on to the article die. Just like the masculine article, even female persons and female professions are always feminine. For example, die Mutter, die Frau, die Lehrerin. And do remember that mostly all professions for females end with IN. The next category is Bäume und Blumen. For example, die Rose, die Tulpe, die Lilie. Endungen für feminin. Now let's go through some noun endings which help us in identifying that the noun is feminine. Words with ending E. A lot of words ending with E have the feminine article. For example, die Lampe, die Erde. Similarly, words ending with EI like die Bäckerei, die Schneiderei, etc. are feminine. Words ending with Heit and Keit, die Schönheit, die Krankheit, die Süßigkeit, die Wirklichkeit, and so on. Words ending with Schaft and ung are also feminine. For example, die Freundschaft, die Gesellschaft, die Zeitung, die Endung. Examples for other feminine endings are die Nationalität, die Klinik, die Lektion, die Demokratie, die Frisur, die Konferenz, etc. Now let's move on to the article das. Das is used as an article für Nomen aus Verben oder Adjektiven. Whenever you formulate nouns from verbs or adjectives, they use the article das. For example, das Essen, das Fahren, das Teuerste, etc. Das Essen comes from the verb essen, das Fahren comes from the verb fahren, and das Teuerste comes from the adjective teuer. Endungen für neutral. Now let's go through some endings which help in recognizing that the article of the noun is das. The words ending in chen and lein. For example, das Mädchen, das Kindlein. Words with endung ment. For example, das Monument, das Sortiment. Another ending for neutral is nis, das Ergebnis. Other endings for neutrum are tum and For example, das Eigentum, das Brauchtum, das Zentrum, das Museum, and so on. So all these rules and conditions help you in recognizing the article of the words. But there are always some Ausnahmen. That means there are some exceptions, some words which don't follow the rules we have just done. Let's look at the first one. Words such as der Gast are masculine, so you really can't differentiate between masculine or feminine. Some words which are shortened and end with an I are also masculine, like der Azubi. The third category is for persons where they are made smaller. For example, die Mädel, the smaller version is das Mädchen. Mädchen is basically a smaller form of Mädel and the ending is chen. That's why das Mädchen. Similarly, das Kind and das Baby. So hope now learning articles is easier for you. Danke! Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, do give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos. If you have any questions or comments, do write them in the comment section below. Tschüss, auf Wiedersehen!